Sam Wilson picks up the shield once more as he enters into a world of trouble. After following a lead from Misty Knight, what will Sam intercept? What will Captain America discover? Hidden away within an empty train. Captain America: The Symbol of Truth, issue number 1 is a great first issue, brought to us by writer Tochi Onyebuchi. It's definitely great to see Sam back in the role of Captain America. If you are a fan of Nick Spencer's run from way back when, then you will definitely enjoy this issue. I can't help but love the fact that both Steve and Sam are currently Captain America. No doubt both characters will provide a set of perspective, which will define their style, in order to help separate and kind of make it easier to see why both Caps are needed, and how both Sam and Steve, respectfully, can provide their own set of values for the reader. I think what works this time around, compared to years back when Sam originally suited up with the wings and shield, is the fact that Steve is still in the picture. And because of that, it makes it easier for the reader to give Sam a chance to be Captain America and breathe fresh to life as his symbol of truth, which is great. Oh, and speaking of Wakanda Forever, I can't help but wonder if White Wolf is the one responsible for the Wakanda Forever chant that's happening. Definitely interested to see how all that kind of comes into play later on. When it comes to the book's art, R.B. Silva delivers the goods. Everything from Sam soaring about to the explosions going off to quieter moments between Sam and Misty Knight. And heck, White Wolf talking with Crossbones. It's all great stuff, and it's definitely what you expect to see from this comic simply by its cover alone. Also, Adalberto's colors knock it out of the park. Everything from the action to the outside streets of Harlem feels 100% alive. I couldn't be more happier. Definitely a satisfied consumer. Overall, Captain America: The Symbol of Truth, issue number 1, definitely delivered a solid first issue. The book has great action, and the writing from Tochi Onyebuchi provides enough interest with the book's plot and the mysterious possibilities of where it's heading. Captain America: The Symbol of Truth, issue number 1 gets a sexy 8 out of 10. Our story picks up in the American Southwest area, nearby the border in Mexico, where all your beautiful canyons and glorious desert landscapes and local rattlesnakes can be found, along with a huge freight train. However, according to Sam and his sidekick Joaquin Torres, this isn't just some basic train that's traveling on this sunny day, because apparently Misty Knight provided Sam with some intel about how this train is smuggling catches of Super Soldier Sam in order to be sold to various buyers. And let me tell you something, the last thing that this world needs is a black market trade ring of Super Soldier Serum. That's just begging for bad things to happen. Thus, we have Sam, Red Wing, and Joaquin soaring into action. Now, once Sam breaks into the train, our hero immediately gets ambushed by incoming mercenaries, who are also here for the Super Soldier Serum. But unlike Sam, they're obviously here for more nefarious reasons. And we got guys coming from both directions. Guys coming from the back with a bunch of SUV cars decked with machine guns and weaponized drones, and in the front with soldiers dropping down from the helicopters on top of the train. So yeah, basically Sam is cornered, to the point where eventually Sam gets knocked out of the sky via a missile. But while Sam is seemingly down for the count, this is where we get ourselves a flashback, taking place sometime earlier up in Harlem, where Sam is sort of maybe kind of having a date with Misty Knight. And while these two non-lovebirds make their way through the city streets, we get an idea of what's happening status quo-wise within Harlem. That being this cultural movement of sorts called Wakanda Forever. Now, basically it plays a somewhat similar role to that of Afrocentrism, but instead of African roots in general, specifically more for Wakanda, where you have the people saying that paradise, meaning Wakanda, is just an ocean away. Therefore, we, the African American community, should stop pretending that America is just, because unlike what's happening here in the States, Wakanda's people are thriving. However, this movement makes Sam feel extremely bad about himself, because basically what this movement is telling him is that he's not doing a good enough job as Captain America. He's not providing enough hope for his community. But that's when Misty takes Sam out for a walk, to try and, let him cool off some steam and whatnot. Eventually on a rooftop, Misty's providing Sam with a manifest, information about a smuggling operation, aka the train from earlier, and how it's smuggling Super Soldier Sam. So basically she wants him, since he's a badass and is Captain America, to take care of the situation. And from there, Misty gives Sam a kiss goodbye as she heads off. Thus, this is where we pick back up in the present, with Sam waking up, falling, getting hit from a rocket. And once Sam gets up like a badass mofo, our hero is done playing around. Because after you get hit from a rocket in the face, Sam is ready to kick some ass. And indeed he does. Meanwhile, after knowing Sam's okay and is back in action, Falcon manages to destroy a satellite that the mercs were using to control the drones and helping to provide them with heavy firepower, along with disrupting the long-range communications. And so once that's said and done, Sam begins to call in for backup, whilst also managing to interrogate one of the mercs in order to see who hired them. Typical standard questions that one would ask. Now, Joaquin at the moment begins to scan the front section of the train, and it's here where things quickly start to get weird. Because one, the super soldier serum, which Misty said was being transported, is nowhere to be found on board. And two, rather instead what Joaquin finds is a group of people, but not just any group of people. Rather, it turns out that Joaquin's cousin from Mexico is here along with 2 kids and a sick woman, who requires medical attention effective immediately. Later on, due to the efforts of Senator Mansfield, troops and helicopters arrive at the scene and begin to escort the people from the train to a nearby facility in order to figure out what's happening and to figure out why they were on board instead of the serum. In addition, Mansfield's secretary mentions to our heroes that they were able to apprehend the suspects, aka the mercenaries, 10 miles east from their location. So basically everything's under control. Now, what's weird about all this is the fact that Senator Mansfield, according to Joaquin, is known to be very much anti-immigration. So clearly Falcon doesn't trust where his cousin's being sent off to. And so because Sam is such a nice guy, he gives his sidekick the okay to fly off and to make sure that his cousin will be okay. Later on that night at Cumberland Federal Correctional Institute, we have Brock Rummelow, aka Crossbones, in his cell watching some sports. But suddenly that's when his TV shuts off, and through dramatic fashion, we find out that the one responsible is none other than Hunter, aka the White Wolf, aka T'Challa's adoptive brother. Now it's here where Hunter gives Crossbones the rundown of who he is, whilst also trying to sell Brock on the idea that he's trying to start something big, that toppling of countries. Hunter wants to recruit Crossbones because from the way he sees it, Brock is wasting his talents by staying in the cell. Therefore, if he helps Hunter achieve his goal, Hunter will provide Crossbones the chance of getting to kill Captain America. And that, folks, was the end of Captain America, Symbol of Truth, issue number 1. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 2? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.